He used to fly higher than anyone else until one day he couldn't leave the branch at all. The sky had always been there, wide, open, endless. But lately it felt different, and for as long as he could remember, it had never felt far away. Not to him. High in the branches of a quiet old tree, just at the edge of a sleepy meadow, lived a small bird named Lio. Lio was not the biggest bird. He wasn't the fastest either. But once, not so long ago, he had been brave. He used to fly before the sun rose. He used to chase the wind just to see where it would take him. He used to laugh in the way only birds can, as he dipped and soared between clouds painted gold by the morning light. The sky had never frightened him. It had felt like home. But that was before. Now, Lio sat very still on the same branch every morning, watching, waiting, not moving. Below him, the meadow slowly woke to the day. Tall grass swayed gently, whispering secrets only the wind understood. A narrow stream curled lazily through the earth, catching pieces of sunlight and carrying them away like tiny drifting stars. And above it all, the sky stretched just as it always had. Wide, open, endless. Other birds filled it easily. They leapt from branches without hesitation. They rode the wind like it was something they trusted, something they understood. Lio watched them carefully. He noticed how simple it looked, how natural, as if flying wasn't something you had to think about at all. He shifted slightly on his branch. His claws tightened. His wings twitched. Just a little. He didn't move. "It's a beautiful morning," said a soft voice nearby. Lio turned his head. Perched on a branch just below him was Mira, a small bird with pale feathers and calm, thoughtful eyes. She had been there many mornings before. She always seemed to arrive quietly, as if she didn't want to disturb anything. "Yes," Lio said. His voice was gentle, but distant. Mira looked up at the sky, then back at him. "You used to like mornings," she said. Lio didn't answer right away. "I still do," he said after a moment. Mira tilted her head slightly. "But you don't fly anymore." The words were soft, not sharp, not unkind, but they stayed in the air between them. Lio looked away, out toward the sky. "It's different now," he said. Mira didn't ask what he meant. She didn't need to. They sat in silence for a while. The wind moved through the leaves above them. The world carried on. "Do you remember your first flight?" Mira asked gently. Leo's feathers shifted slightly. Yes, he said, I remember. He remembered the feeling, the uncertainty, the way his wings had trembled before he jumped, the way the ground had seemed so far below, and then the moment everything changed. I didn't think I could do it, he said quietly. Mira smiled softly. Most don't. Leo nodded. But I did. He paused and then added more quietly. At least, I used to. The wind picked up slightly, brushing past them both. Mira watched him carefully. What changed? She asked. Leo didn't answer. Not right away. Instead, his gaze drifted downward, past the branches, past the leaves, down to the ground far below. It was just one moment, he said finally. His voice had changed, quieter now, heavier. I was flying higher than I ever had before. I wanted to see everything. He closed his eyes slightly, as if trying to see it again. The wind shifted, stronger than I expected. His wings tightened against his sides. I didn't understand it in time. The memory came back in pieces. The sudden pull, the loss of balance, the feeling of not being in control. I fell. The word barely made a sound. Mira didn't move. I tried to fix it, Leo continued. I tried to remember what to do, but everything felt wrong. The wind passed through the branches again, quieter this time. I hit the lower branches on the way down, and then the ground. Silence. I wasn't hurt badly, he said. Not really. He opened his eyes again, but something changed. Mira nodded slowly. The sky didn't feel the same after that, Leo said. He looked up again, at the same sky he had once loved. It felt bigger. He hesitated. Too big. The words stayed there, suspended. Mira followed his gaze. The sky stretched endlessly above them, unchanged. It is big, she said softly. Leo let out a quiet breath. They sat there for a long time after that, not speaking, just listening to the wind. Finally, Mira shifted slightly on her branch. You know, she said, the sky didn't change. Leo didn't respond. You did, she added. He looked at her, not confused, just unsure. Mira continued gently. That happens sometimes. Leo said nothing. When something scares us, she said, it doesn't always go away when the moment ends. The leaves above them rustled softly. Sometimes, she went on, it stays. Leo's wings moved slightly, almost without him noticing. It makes things feel farther away than they really are. Leo looked back at the sky. It feels far, he said. Mira nodded. I know. Another quiet moment passed. But feeling isn't always the same as truth, she said. Leo frowned slightly. Mira stood up on her branch. Not in a hurry, not dramatic, just steady. Come with me, she said. Leo blinked. Where? Mira looked toward a lower branch. Not far. Leo hesitated. It wasn't a big distance. Not really, just one branch below. He had done it before, many times. But now, he looked down again. His claws tightened. I don't think I can, he said quietly. Mira didn't argue. She simply stepped off her branch and glided down, effortless, calm. She landed gently on the lower branch and looked back up at him. I'll stay here, she said. Leo watched her. The branch wasn't far, just below him, close enough that he could almost convince himself it didn't matter. His wings shifted again. The wind brushed past him. Soft, familiar. He closed his eyes for a moment. The memory came back. The fall. The fear. The moment everything felt out of control. His wings tensed. Then slowly, he opened them. Not fully, just a little. The wind caught them slightly. He felt it. Not strong, not overwhelming, just there, waiting. Leo took a small breath and let go. For a moment, too short to measure, he wasn't on the branch anymore. The air moved around him, not against him, not pushing him down, holding him. He dropped just slightly and then adjusted. Instinct. Something he hadn't forgotten. Something that had been there all along. His wings moved, not perfectly, but enough. And then he landed on the branch below, still safe. Leo didn't move. Mira smiled softly. You didn't forget, she said. Leo looked at his wings, then back at the space above. The sky hadn't changed. It was still wide, still open, still endless. But something about it felt different. Not smaller, just closer. I thought I couldn't, Leo said. Mira nodded. I know. They stood there together for a moment. Do you want to try again? She asked gently. Leo looked up. The sky was still there, waiting. He hesitated, then shook his head slightly. Not yet. Mira smiled. That's okay. The wind moved softly through the branches once more. You don't have to fly far, she said. Leo looked at her. You just have to begin. He nodded. Above them, other birds continued to move through the sky, effortless, free. Leo watched them, and for the first time in a long while, he didn't feel like the sky was something he had lost, just something he would return to. Not all at once, but one small flight at a time. Leo looked at the sky again. It was still wide, still endless, but it didn't feel as far as before. He took a slow breath. His wings moved slightly. Just a little, he whispered. Mira didn't say anything. She only watched. Leo stepped closer to the edge of the branch, not as far as before, not as high. The wind brushed against him again, soft, gentle, familiar. For a moment, fear returned, quiet but present. But this time, he didn't move away. He stayed. And then, very gently, he opened his wings. Not wide, not strong, just enough. The wind caught them. Leo leaned forward and let go. He didn't fall. He didn't soar either. He glided just a little from one branch to another. And when he landed, he stood still for a moment, surprised. Then he looked up. The sky was still waiting, and this time he didn't feel like it was something he had lost, just something he was learning again, one small flight at a time.